A lot of people don't realize that this time of year, you know, as a basketball fan growing up, you think of maybe October being a busy time, maybe March being a fun time, but actually September as a coach is the craziest time of all. So right now, because we've got all our players on campus, we're working out, we're trying to fix academic issues with them as well. And in addition, this is also the time period where we're able to go out and make contact with our recruits. So we're able to meet and sit down with their families, get to know them a little bit, and then have to race back and try to do practice and workouts and get back on the road. So give you an idea, on Friday, we had workouts. Saturday morning, we had a recruit come in for our football game. We did an unofficial visit, and recruiting is going well. This young lady, we're in the running. We're in the running. It's us and two other SEC teams and a Big Ten team, and it's really between us and one other SEC team, and one of our assistant coaches has done a great job. So we had this really big time recruit in on Saturday, wrapped it up with the football game, didn't end like we wanted the football game to end. 3 a.m. the next morning, I'm on the road to catch a flight to get to New York to meet with another young lady and her family, and then driving to Connecticut, and then to catch a flight to get back home at about 1 a.m. that morning. Then we have workouts later that day, and I had to go home and shower so I don't look like the dad that hadn't taken a shower in 2 days. And we have a Cub Scout meeting. And so I have a Cub Scout meeting with Parker, and then the next morning, again, 1 a.m., I'm on the road, 4 a.m. I'm on the road to go meet with the young lady yesterday in Michigan. And so it's us and a big East, or American East School, and so we're in the running with some really good, and then actually after we finish here today, we want to meet the kids, and then I'm on the road to Arkansas for another young lady. And so we're in the running with some really good recruits. Recruiting is going really, really well. So the future's bright. I'm excited about the kids that we have here, but I'm really excited also about the kids that we're recruiting. We've had success. This car has not been broken. It needed some serious repair when we got here, but we kind of fixed that. And this car runs pretty well, although we graduated a lot of engine power in Brown and Tasha Brown out the door, walked 3,000 points and over 1,000 rebounds. But we've got some really good pieces here right now. I'm really excited about the kids that we're recruiting as well, because the schedule that we have is designed for that caliber player. We've won a lot of games. We won, as Todd said, we won 154 games. We've beaten a top 25 team in each of the last 3 years. But on our schedule this year, as you might have either seen on Twitter or the newspaper, we're going to play at least 7 teams that were in the NCAA tournament last year. And we're already working on next year's schedule, and it'll be just as tough. And so the goal isn't to maintain the status quo. The goal is to turn this car into a race car. And so, Central Michigan's women's team can go to the final, which is the Sweet 16, and why can't Western Kentucky be in the Sweet 16? And in men's basketball, if Loyola Chicago can go to the Final Four, then why can't Western Kentucky get in the Final Four? So we're recruiting those caliber players to come in and help keep this thing going and build it to another level. We've been working really hard in workouts. Practice has gone well. I've spoken a couple of times about some of the young ladies that we've had come in. We've got 2 young ladies from Egypt. We've got a young lady from Senegal. We've got another freshman from St. Louis, and they all feel like, I'm not a Marine sergeant, but they all feel like they just joined the Marines. So they're getting up at 6 a.m. and lifting and working out, and then they have class and tutors and study hall, and then they have to come back, and then we have basketball practice in the evening, 3:30, 4:30, and play 5-on-5 against our guys' scout team. So they're working really hard, but they have to. Because our first game we're going to open right here in Diddle Arena on November the 6th against Louisville. And they're coming off of a Final Four run. We appreciate it. Thank you. We appreciate Jeff Walls continuing to play us. Because a lot of schools, we played Indiana, we beat them here, we were up 15 there, still mad about that one, letting it get away, but that's not an option anymore. So Coach Walls continues to schedule us. And the last time they were here at Diddle, it turned out in our favor. We beat them. And so he's continued to do that. We appreciate that. And then after that game, we leave and we go to Oklahoma. Another team that was in the NCAA tournament. We leave and come back to Diddle the very next week, Tuesday, and we'll play Iowa here. And we had them on the ropes last year in Missouri, and last year in Iowa, and ended up losing in overtime to them. So, and then we go to Central Michigan. The very team I mentioned that went to the Sweet 16 will go to their place. And so our first 4 games are against tournament teams. And so we have to prepare like we're getting ready for the tournament, otherwise this will be a rocky start to begin the season. And I tell our players all the time, so I don't know if we'll lose all 4, if we'll win all 4, but one thing I know is we'll be challenged and we'll get better. And we'll continue to grow and get ready for this conference. And in our conference, it really boils down to getting ready to win 3 games in 3 days. Because until somebody else gets to the point where they have an RPI, like we have an RPI or our strength of schedule, this is still one bid league right now. And so we have to win this conference tournament. And that's why we schedule the way we schedule, is so that we can prepare ourselves that even if we have some losses early in the season, if anybody's a Denny Crum fan, Denny Crum was always about one thing: you play your best basketball in February and March. And so that's what we're trying to do, is make sure that we put emphasis on the beginning of the season, but everything rides on the end of the season. So we're working hard to prepare for the beginning, but really with the end in mind. And that's what we're doing. So I would love for everybody, if everybody doesn't have season tickets, we'd love for you to buy season tickets. If you don't come to the ball game, give your tickets to somebody else to come to the ball game. We want to put more seats, more butts in seats this year. I've even challenged our students. I told our freshmen that if they will come to our games, sit behind the opponent's goal, make them miss free throws. If they will make them miss at least half the free throws, I'll buy pizza for every student that's at that ball game. They got excited about that, but they don't know how excited I'll be if they can make somebody shoot less than 50% from the free throw line. So I'd be glad about pizza. Maybe it'll happen at the Louisville game or the Iowa game, I don't know, but we're trying to get some more butts and seats and get some more people there. So please buy season tickets. If you're not able to come to the game, just give them to your neighbor, give them to somebody else. We'd love to have you there. I think we have a good schedule of games this year. We'll have, of course, Middle Tennessee will come back. We'll play them twice. I think we have a really good nucleus of kids that are coming back. What we don't have is experience. When Ivy Brown and Tasia Brown graduated, we also graduated 3 years of high-level experience. We've got good players. We've got a 6'3" young lady that sat out last year, Iran from Senegal. She's probably our 4th best three-point shooter. And she wants to be a guard, like all we play. Like ask Coach Stansberry, every coach. Charles Bassett wants to be a guard, I promise you. They all want to be guard. But I told Iran, she can be a guard. As soon as she got to be finding a 6'4", 6'5" player to take her spot on the inside. But we've got Alexis Brewer, whose father, Boo Brewer, played for Denny Crum, and she sat out last year. She transferred from West Virginia, and she led the Big 12 in three-point field goal percentage. So we're excited about Alexis and Iran. We've got Dee Gibbons returning, who was the 6th man of the year last year. Dee worked hard. She probably got tired of me teasing her about being softer than tissue paper. So she worked hard in the weight room. She gained about 13 pounds of muscle. And she can drop threes from the IGA. If you're familiar with the Diddle, there was an IGA logo. We said she can drop threes from the IGA. So we're excited about Dee. We'll also return Whitney Creech. Whitney Creech was, she averaged 51 points a game in her senior year in high school. And then she came here, and she was our point guard because we needed a point guard. And last year she has 95 assists and 55 turnovers. So we're excited about Whit coming back as well. So we've got a great nucleus. But what they don't have is the experience that Ivy Brown and Tasia Brown had. So we're going to get there. And I know by the end of the season we'll be really strong. But at the beginning of the season, we're going to take some lumps. And hopefully we're going to figure it out at halftime, and we'll still come out on the good side on the end. But at the end of the day, it's about that end of the season. So I'd love for you to buy season tickets to come see these kids. We're recruiting Kentucky kids. Matter of fact, while I was sitting at the table by Mr. Shrewsbury, I had a phone call from a father of a recruit who, she's in Kentucky, with point guard, beginning her junior year. She's going to commit any day. So she's turning down SEC schools, ACC schools, other Kentucky schools. So recruiting's going well. We're going to get some more Kentucky kids here like Ivy Brown. But in Kentucky, there are good players. Don't get me wrong, they're good players, but it goes in cycles. The numbers goes in cycles. And right now, we're kind of in a cycle where there just aren't a lot of 6'3", 6'2" to play. One of the things we've done is we've done a good job of recruiting and building our players to the point now where we're competing with the Louisvilles and the Kentuckys for the same players. When we got here, we weren't quite at that level yet. But now we're in the same fight for some of those kids in the state. And so we're going to get some of those, and we'll have more kids like Ivy Brown that will be excited to come. But in the meantime, we need you to come and watch some of the new kids, some of the kids that we have from Baton Rouge, some of the kids that are from Senegal, from Egypt, some of the kids from out of state that are just as exciting and good kids to watch, even if you get a chance to watch them growing up in high school. We're excited about what we're doing. We've got a great coaching staff. Coach Bowen played for me at Arkansas. She's done a great job with in recruiting as well. We got Tiffany Porter Talbot. You might remember her. She was a Hall of Fame player, second all time in scoring. And then we got Jocelyn White, who I stole away from Penn State. She was looking to get closer to home. She's from Georgia, but she came here instead of going to NC State, Georgia State, Georgia, a Division II head coaching job. So she chose to come here because she was excited about what we've done and what we're doing. So I really think that we have a good thing going. It's going to get better. I'm excited about our schedule now and in the future. We have ACC schools that are emailing me that want to play. And the kicker is I'm trying to get them to start at Bowling Green. They always want to start at their place. So we're trying to get some of those here. We've already got Big Ten teams on the schedule for next year as well. So there's a good reason to buy some season tickets and share those. I think we have a good product. We're looking at even playing some games at some neutral sites and some double headers with our men next year. So hopefully that'll be an opportunity for season ticket holders to come see the Women again as well. Anyway, we're excited about what we're doing. We'd love to have you come. I'm going to stop talking and just take some questions and see if you have anything that I can help you. Mike.
Greg, I don't want to take away from that, but when you were introduced as the head coach, I was going to ask if you could relay. I loved what you said when you were asked about the adjustment going from an assistant coach to a head coach of the same program, and it related to your dad. And I thought that was a wonderful analogy in the story.
Remind me about
it. It was about the principal's office being.
Yes. My father was a high school principal he was a principal for 22 years. He was a high school principal for 17. And he had several assistant principals that went on to be principals. He was also a high school basketball head coach. He actually was a freshman coach, and he coached Big Jim McDaniels as a freshman. And then he left and became the head coach at Shepherdsville High School. I believe it was after Joby Hall left. And so he coached, then he became a principal. Dad always said, just remember, he would tell his assistant principals this, just remember it's a lot farther than just 6 feet across that hallway. And he would tell me it's a lot different, and it's a lot farther than just 12 inches from that second seat to that first seat. And so, and it is. And one of the main differences is the amount of phone calls that you get. And so while I was sitting here, I had 2 players and a recruit's dad while I was sitting at the table. So the phone there, I was joking on the way in with Todd and Curry that I reached out and said, what is in my pocket? And I realized it was my phone charger. Because I have to carry my phone charger with me because it'll die before lunchtime, and I have to find somebody to plug it in. So that's one of the biggest changes that goes. One of the positive changes that I enjoy is being able to impact more kids and more people, to be able to help. Jazz Bowen, for example, who played for me at Arkansas, came here as a grad assistant, and I got the opportunity to name her as assistant coach. And she texted me that night. She was so excited. She said, Coach said, I'm so thrilled for this opportunity. Said, you've got a babysitter for life. And I texted her back and said, you better be able to recruit or we're both going to babysit. So I'm really glad to be able to help and impact. And then Coach Tiffany Porter Talbot is so thankful for the opportunity. And she brings that enthusiasm about being on the Hill. And she communicates that sometimes verbally, but sometimes just with her presence about what it means to be a Hilltopper with our recruits and with our current players. And so it's so nice and really honoring to be able to help people like that and help players to get an opportunity to come play ball in some place like this. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I noticed that one of the players that committed last year moved to University of South Carolina, and I thought that was a great disappointment on your part, or on the part of the university.
Yes and no. Yes and no. And the disappointment part is if they're not here as a freshman, they can't be good juniors or sophomores, and good freshmen, juniors, and seniors. But if you don't want to be here, then we don't want you here. And so, and when she decided she wanted to explore some other options, I told her and her father that was all right. You need to take one of those other options. And so I wanted her to stay, but only if she wanted to be here. And even when she made that decision, I'll tell you that I told her father that the reason she was here is because I had spoken to a summer coach, and he was telling me about some of his guards and said, no, I'm looking for a post player. And he told me about this young lady, so I watched her, and that's it. So I found her. And then I kind of envisioned her to become someday like Ivy Brown. But the difference was, Ivy Brown, if you remember, Ivy Brown averaged about 6 minutes a game her freshman season. 3 points, 3 rebounds. She graduated with 14 rebounds shy of 1,000 and over 1,500 points. So a lot of that happened in her last 3 years. Well, we went to work. We went to work during that spring and summer between our freshman and sophomore year. As a matter of fact, we were posing for our championship trophy our freshman season, and I happened to walk up just coincidentally. She was standing there in the back, and I walked up beside her, and all season I've been telling Ivy, she hates me to tell that story. But as a freshman, she came in, and her favorite move was to drive left, spin back, hook with the right. And I said, honey, that shot will never work again. Now, she's Miss Basketball, and she's had success. And now here's a coach telling her her favorite move, her favorite shot will never work again. And so she wasn't ready to really buy into that. And so she'd be in practice, she'd drive left, spin back right, and then get blocked. I said, 0 for 1. We'd be in the game later, and she might drive down that left side, spin back, miss that shot, 0 for 3. So as we kept this running, we'd be in practice later on, she'd make that move, and it might be January, and I said, 2 for 20. And so we kept doing this. So my point was to help her, and so she started realizing this. And she started realizing she wasn't playing the minutes that she had been accustomed to. And so we're posing for that championship picture. And I walk up behind her, put my arm around her, and I said, "You're ready now, aren't you?" And she said, "Yes, sir." And so what that meant, we both knew what that meant. That meant she was ready to go to work. And she worked hard. And I envisioned a young lady from South Carolina doing that same thing, but what she wasn't ready to do was commit to that work that Ivy Brown committed to. And so she made a choice. And I can promise you this, I took that scholarship and we got a young lady here that transferred as a graduate transfer, Jaleesa Allen from Virginia. She earned her degree, her undergraduate degree from Virginia in 3 years. That's pretty impressive. And so she's here as a graduate transfer and she's going to help us this year, right now. And she's ready. She's 6'2", high motor kid, great young lady. She's going to help us in the post. And then she'll graduate and move on. And we got another transfer from VCU. Sandra Skinner, who from Winchester, Kentucky, and she was interested in transferring and got the release. I called Sandra. This was actually the day before Coach Herald. I was going to take the Cincinnati job, and said, Sandra, first I want to tell you, you made a mistake. You should have come here the first time when I talked to you. And she said, yes, sir. And we talked a little bit more. And after about 40 minutes, I just said, all right, this isn't going long, Sandra. You're not going on visits. You're going to make a decision right now. Is this what you want to do, yes or no? So after 40 minutes, Sandra Skinner was committed. So I took that scholarship that she left. We got a graduate transfer from Virginia, a transfer who's sitting out this year and play next year, 6'2" kid from Kentucky, who'll be ready the next year. So we took that scholarship and put it to good use. And we'll be okay. Any other questions?
Can you tell us a little bit about your background in WBA?
Yes.
What you've done along the way?
First, I started out coaching. We had summer ball and high school ball, and I was coaching at Manual High School. And the head coach at the University of Louisville wanted me to come on my staff. And I just be honest, I couldn't afford a pay cut. And so I politely declined. The next year he came back, and actually his wife, they were co-head coaches. His wife resigned so that he could pay me more. So I thought, well, I'm going to take this opportunity and run with it. And while I was at Louisville, I had a friend that was the director of scouting for a couple of teams in WBB, a couple of different teams in WBB, and she had asked me to do some scouting. And so in the summertime, I would travel from recruiting to go sit and watch WNBA games and provide scouting reports, and they got their money's worth. I'm just telling you this, they paid me $100 for a scouting report, and they should have paid me 3 times that amount of money. So, because it took a long time, but I learned a lot. And I tell you what, I sat in the end zone of the court, and I sat in the end zone for a reason, because after I did a few scouting reports on one team, then they wanted me to scout both teams at the same time. And so I was sitting in the end zone so I could see the shot clock and both coaches. Because if you sit on the side and you're looking one way or the other way, you can't see everything. So I would sit in the end zone and I would pick up the time, watch the point guard and get the play call, watch the play, and then I would get everything down before it went the other way. And so at halftime, I was writing like a crazy reporter trying to get caught up. But it was a good experience, and it helped me to recognize and learn a lot of things quickly. And I think that's helped me in some in-game adjustments as well. And so from that, we did well. And I always tease Jeff Walls and Michelle as well that that little piece of net that she has in her picture in the office from going to the Final Four at Louisville, I said, you owe me a little piece of that, because we left Louisville with Angel McCautry, who was a Kodak All-American as a sophomore, and then left Louisville, went to Arkansas, and then Jeff Walls got that job and hired Coach Herald as an assistant coach. And so they came in. Many people don't get jobs with a Kodak All-American with 2 years of eligibility remaining. And so they came in there, and they also had Candace Bingham, who I coached in high school, and she went to Xavier and things didn't go the way she wanted, and she had transferred back. And she wanted to come with me to Arkansas, and I just said, absolutely not, you're staying. You're staying and going, and she was upset, but she couldn't transfer again and lose your eligibility. And so, and I remember telling Coach Wallace that Candace Bingham's almost as good as Angel McCautry. And Angel ended up being the #1 draft choice in the WBB draft. And she's still playing professional ball with the Atlanta Dream. And, but Candace was the glue, and Candace was MVP of the Final Four, of the regional tournament, not the Final Four, the regional tournament. And so I always teased Michelle and Jeff that I need a little piece of that net. So we left them. So from there, we went to Arkansas, did well at Arkansas. I had several kids go on to play professional ball. Had a 6'3" kid there, Lauren Irvin, got drafted in the first round. When I got to Arkansas, I was looking at the numbers, and Lauren, when we were doing workouts, and Lauren, 6'3", but had a really nice shot, and was really maybe our best three-point shooter in workouts. And I thought, then we looked at stats again, and she had attempted 0 threes in the previous year that she was at Arkansas. And so I told Tom Collins, who was the head coach, I said, Coach, I'm going to tell her to let it go. And she got to shoot it. So at the next time we had our practice, I had all the players there, and I asked the players, I said, who's the best, or one of the best three-point shooters on this team? And they all pointed to Lauren. So I said, Lauren, here's the deal. If you don't attempt a three every game, you're going to come in the next morning at 5:30 and go with me and go running. And one of the players said, girl, I shoot the jump ball. But she ended up getting drafted, and she's played football. And I haven't been in touch with her for a couple, 2 or 3 years, but she might even still be playing professional ball overseas. Recruited Sierra Ricketts out of Louisville. A couple other schools passed on her. She ended up being SEC Freshman of the Year and got drafted as well, played pro ball overseas for a year, but she's such a homebody, she didn't want to stay overseas. She wanted to come back home. So we had success there. And so Michelle and I had always been friends. And so when she got this job, we'd always talk, if you get a head coaching job, I'll come help you. If I get one, you come help me. So she called me. I was actually fly fishing in Colorado, and she called and said, I think I'm going to be the new head coach at Western. Are you going to come help me? I said, well, yeah, that's what we planned on. So, and then I got here and I said, holy smokes, we got a big job cut out for us. There's a lot of work here. And our first goal was to make sure we get above 500 and qualify for the WNIT, because they hadn't been in the postseason playing a while. And we got to 15 wins way sooner than we had initially expected, and so we had to readjust. That year we went from the previous season, they had lost 22 games. That year we won 22 games, and we've won 22 or more ever since then. And this year we've got a tougher. Last year our strength of schedule was 54th in the country, and I don't know what it'll be this year, but I promise you it'll be tougher, because this year we're playing the national champs, a Final Four team, a Sweet 16 team, an Elite 8 team. We're playing, and then we still got teams that won their conference, like Little Rock, who's well coached and always tough. They won their conference and went to the NCAA tournament as well. So we're going to play at least 7 teams that were in the NCAA tournament last year, and we didn't play that last year. So anyway, I'm excited to be here. It was always more important to me in my coaching career to be in good places with good people. And it was more important than, there's nothing wrong with Albuquerque, New Mexico, but I didn't want to move to New Mexico to be a head coach. I would have moved to Montana to go fly fishing, but Ray would have done that. So that wasn't an option. So that was always more important, and we were really happy to be here. And Ray and I and the kids, we loved it here, and so with an opportunity to stay here and be the head coach, it was like a dream come true, to be someplace where you want to be and do what you want to do. So other than that, we're just looking forward to adding some more wins and cutting down some more nets and Buy some more rings.
Go Tops.
There you go.